All right, everyone, welcome into episode number 52 of the Hooley podcast. I could go with a potentially problematic. I mean, Ray Lewis, the first one coming to mind. Elandon Roberts episode.
Yoenis Cespedes.
Sean Corrali.
Ted Johnson.
I would say, yeah, you're right, actually. Yeah. How did I forget? Yeah, geez. What are you doing, Molly? But yeah, okay. I like the new number game we did at the beginning. But yeah, here we are. After about a week or so, we were not able to record over the weekend. Some crazy schedules going on there. But we certainly had a lot happen between now and then. We're going to do it a little bit weird. We usually have been going through the NFL slate to start the episode. We're going to go a little bit different. We're going to start with some baseball. Again, Mike, last time we spoke, the Red Sox had lost game 1 against the Orioles. Again, not a great start. They ended up winning game 2, and then they lose game 3 of that series, and things are really, really looking dire heading into Washington. And I don't know. It was not looking good.
It was right after the Yankees swept us at Fenway.
Right.
2 out of 3 in Toronto. Held a 2-game lead on us. And then I think we were one up on Seattle and Toronto at that point.
Mm-hmm. Seattle got within a half at some point. I know because they had a Monday to Wednesday, and we were Tuesday to Thursday, or everyone else was supposed to. There was a weird time where they got down to half.
I think Seattle. I think they might have been tied with us, all 3 of those teams.
Actually, yeah. Now that you mentioned it, that might have been true. But yeah, so there were a lot of different scenarios.
Seattle was tied with us, and Toronto was a game back.
Yes. Okay.
Shocker! Toronto swept Baltimore.
Right, but it ended up not being much because again, there were a lot of scenarios going into the weekend. Because I think going into Saturday, even I know it was a whole 3-game series, but at one point, the Yankees either lose a certain amount of games, Red Sox did.
Friday night, the Yankees, Mariners both lost.
Yes.
The Red Sox and the Blue Jays won.
Mm-hmm.
Friday night, that was a great game. I think the one player that has saved us over that weekend series was Kike Hernandez. The bottom of the third, making a great defensive play, and the bases loaded to keep that 0-0. And then fast forward to Saturday, hitting that go-ahead home run in the 9th inning.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yeah. Sorry if I'm distracted. My rabbit has all of her feet on me right now as she's doing something, so it's very weird. But yeah, I mean, again, things were not looking good going into kind of driving up or down the Beltway. Not really sure how it works, but yeah, not ideal. Things were definitely looking doom and gloom. We knew we had to go in there and, again, probably sweep to really control our own destiny. And that's exactly what they did. Like you mentioned, again, a big outing on Saturday. Then if we get into Sunday, that's where all the scenarios are kind of going out. I think the potential of a 4-way tie was there if us and the Yankees both lost, and then the Mariners and Blue Jays both won.
Yeah, because Brandon Lau did us some favors on Saturday.
Yeah. Was it 3 home runs?
Yeah, on Saturday.
Yeah.
We routed them, so we were able to get back in the gridlock.
Yeah. So at that point, the Red Sox did control their own destiny to host the wild card game. And again, things weren't looking good for a while. Again, I had some of the games on against tough. Again, Red Zone was on, but I found myself going to MLB Network when I had the Red Sox on the side too. And yeah, just nuts because the Yankees obviously won their game. And I was questioning the not getting the force out going. Not that Judge and Stanton's kind of a pick your poison situation, but Judge able to knock someone in on that infield grounder. So Yankees win, so then it's really on the Red Sox because if they lose, because it ended up being because since Toronto swept, right, we would have had to play the Blue Jays in a 1-game playoff to get to Yankee Stadium for a 1-game playoff. So again, 5-1 in that game. Things were not looking great. And they were able to rally, get in there. Verdugo with a huge hit to tie it up, and then obviously Rafi in extra innings, a huge 2-run homer, second of the game. And I mean, you're talking about a guy that really pushed us through over the finish line. It was Rafi. He put the team on his back and got us there.
That's why I stopped. Hernandez did a great job on Friday and Saturday.
Yes.
Only one name to talk about when it came to Sunday. Not Chris Sale.
He helped.
Not that.
Yeah.
His last 2 outings, especially after that Tuesday start in Baltimore against Mountcastle, and then walking everyone in Washington.
Yeah. And I mean, really too, if you look at it, just, I mean, I think, yeah, Kike's maybe the guy that got us to controlling our own destiny. And then Rafi's the one that drove it through really. Cause it was looking bad, 5-1, we're really going to go 3-3 in the Beltway.
Mhm.
I mean, still the losing 2-3 to Baltimore is awfully. But I mean, again, the way that they rallied and I feel like it's crazy because you usually don't think like that late, literally the last day of the season could be a turning point. But I feel like I don't know, not just home, but I feel like say we won an extra game early in the season and that game maybe it doesn't matter as much, or maybe the Yankees lose say at the last second on Sunday and.
Yeah.
Either way, we host it. I don't know if they win last night, or at least in the way they did last night, without the way things went Sunday. Like they had to come from behind to get that game. Like really, the momentum kicked in on game 162.
And even back to Kike, like when the whole 4-way tiebreakers were coming up, I believe like the Yankees got to choose who they played between Toronto and Boston. It went public that they wanted Boston over Toronto.
Yeah, because it was like the two host teams I think got to like host it, but then like the road teams got to pick where they wanted to go or something like that. Yeah. Because it was either coming here or going to Toronto in one scenario. So, yeah, I mean, that's bulletin board material right there. I mean, I don't know if they planned on it getting out, like you said, but yeah, it ended up being a crazy Sunday. Again, the Sox were able to come back. A little less extreme, but I mean, it took so again, game 162 with the Giants also able to hold off the Dodgers for that NOS crown, setting up the game that we're both watching now, which is the Cardinals, again, the hottest team in baseball, getting a second wild card spot, playing in Dodger Stadium. Have a 1-1 game here at the bottom of the fifth. So, been a good game so far. But yeah, again, pretty good, day one or game 162 of the MLB season across the board on Sunday. Because I mean, Seattle kind of fell apart, and it didn't really matter because I mean they weren't going to get it anyway because the Yankees both won. But yeah, I mean there was a lot of intrigue, a lot that could have happened that on Sunday, and it was really cool to watch, and really did kind of disrupt a little bit. I know some people might not agree, but disrupted the flow of your typical NFL Sunday with the red zone going.
Yeah, because even like back to Seattle like they ended up losing on Sunday when they got mathematically eliminated. I remember being out on Friday night because they're like the West Coast game, and just seeing they're down like the LA, and I'm like, okay, one less team to really worry about. Like assuming,
yeah,
like I think Boston's in trouble if they don't sweep. So now it's like, okay, like well, they sweep, they're ahead of Seattle regardless. Like
right, exactly.
Sweep and you're in without tiebreakers, like type of deal.
Right. But I mean, yeah, hey, they ended up being in NFL Sunday. I know they had a huge one on Saturday night, but yes, I mean that set up our two wildcard matchups, and I think that's something that I think if you're an MLB marketer or whatever, just like financially, I think they got a real good shakeout here as far as big market teams go. You have again the oldest and biggest rivalry in the game last night, and then two premier franchises here with the Cardinals and Dodgers. So I don't think you could really ask for much better if you're in the MLB offices there as far as these matchups go.
Yeah, because like sometimes it ends up being like
Tampa, Cleveland.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like even like to begin with, it was like Tampa and Texas, like in like 2012.
Yeah, I'm thinking who was it? Like Oakland was in one year. Like Oakland gets in a lot,
and like they're like
Minnesota.
Oakland at the Yankees, and then the year before that was Twins at the Yankees, and it's like okay,
Twins, yeah, and you know how that one's gonna go.
Like it's like the Yankees are gonna win. So the fact that like Cardinals have pretty much been like Cardinals and Dodgers and then NL mainstays, like I feel like they're always either like World Series representative in the championship series, like along with the Giants that are going to be the next series of this team. So
wasn't it Blue Jays Orioles one year? The year we won the division? I feel like I distinctly remember watching that in my Brooklyn apartment.
Yes. That was the Britton Encarnacion home run.
Yes, but they didn't put Britton in, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we were playing Cleveland, right? So they were going to face
and then that led to, was that Texas Toronto round 2?
Just try that might be right. It wasn't obviously because the Batista was the year before. Yeah, Texas. You're right. Texas was that's true. Yeah, that's what that was. Because we played Cleveland. But anyway, yeah. So
Toronto beat them again because.
Oh right, because that was Toronto versus
Cleveland.
Yeah. Okay. Right. But enough history. Let's live in the present now. Skip ahead to last night. So again, Red Sox end up again because of that. It ended up being 10-9 the season series.
Yeah.
But it was 10-3 though, and we lost the last 6. So luckily they won enough games early to clinch the season series there. So the Yankees had to come here both 92 and 70, and I don't know. I mean, what else can you say? I mean, they had everything rolling for them last night. I mean, you had Nate really settling into the first. You know, it's not easy going through, you know, Rizzo Judge Stanton to start the game. I know we had that hilarious John Sterling call.
I was going to say, it did bounce back from that Stantonian bomb, but
you mean this? Yeah, the wall ball single, of course, that we all know about. And it's funny too because I heard the extended audio too, and like Susan Walden was like, "Oh, it was like just barely like scraped the top of the wall." It's like, it was like halfway down. Like it wasn't. And yeah, I was fooled too, but it's like I feel like it's funny that they still double down after you see him sitting. It's like, oh, it must like Justin. It's like no, it hit the bottom.
It was like, even now looking back, now that I'm talking about it, was because he kind of like jogged down the line, right?
Yeah, I mean that's why he ended up getting a single. I think. Yeah.
Well, because
kind of pimped it a little.
So I was trying to, I had a late night at work, so I mentally just needed to get to the gym. So I missed I missed the top of the first because I was still driving home.
Yeah.
I forget why I didn't turn on the radio, but I did have the radio on, and I drove by the new sports bar on Broadway. And I look over and I see Stanton like in slow motion, like jogging around first base, and I just said to myself, "Oh boy."
Yeah, no.
And then I got back to 0-0. I'm like, oh, maybe it was just like a deep fly out or like a double that led to nothing.
Yeah, no, the cameraman did. I mean, that's something I'll give Sterling any sort of defense for. Is I thought that thing ended up on start or drive. Like I'm like, oh my god, he killed this one. Like it's out of here, and nope, just hits the wall. So I mean, like that was like a big relief, especially because they only got a single out of it, not even a double. Mm-hmm. But yeah, so I mean, he was able to escape that. Then you get right off the bat. I mean,
great
just a little bit, but
to work the walk before.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. You could tell that Cole was definitely trying to be careful with him because, again, especially with Xander, I know he's kind of struggling, the latter half of the year. Mm-hmm. So maybe not want to give him anything too good. But yeah, like you said, great at bat by Devers, and then Xander just sends it into center field. And that's one too. I learned my lesson because I was also watching the that Barstool live stream, and I'm just like, I'm not reacting until I see this thing land in the bleachers. So I was just kind of like watching it the whole time, and obviously it goes down. And I mean, as great as Eovaldi pitched too, you have to think like that probably just sets the tone so much mentally as a pitcher, knowing it's not 0-0. You already have 2 runs at your back. So
and yeah, I think he even said after the game, just like getting those runs early, he was like, I'm going to attack mode, and you saw it like he, I think he had maybe like only 1 or 2 walks, and he had 8 strikeouts and 5+.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean Nate.
I was so mad about that home run because I was in the kitchen cooking. And I was like, oh, I saw the clock, and I was like, okay, Xander's up. I'm going to turn up the TV so I can hear the audio. And I was like, wait, why am I turning up the TV? I should just grab my phone and pull it up. And then as I hear the crack of the bat, I'm like, crap, when I start running out. And then
what was that for?
The Xander home run.
Oh, okay. Oh, I thought you said you're still gone for that one. Oh, you meant the top. You were going top of the first.
And I was like, wait, why aren't I just like pull up my phone while I'm like prepping the food?
Yeah.
Like that thought went through my head. I heard the crack of the bat, and I sprinted in here, and I see him like rounding first. I'm like, okay, let's go.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, that was a good way to set the tone early. Then, and Nate really he settled in from that point. I mean, he seemed to pitch to 8 of the 9 Yankee hitters pretty well. And I'm even including Rizzo because, I mean, obviously he hit the home run, but I feel like that was just kind of like, again, taking advantage of pesky Pole a little bit, but I mean, he seemed to have no answer for Stanton. Yeah. And again, we were able to kind of like get around a lot of it. But I mean, Nate was awesome last night. I mean, I don't really know what else to say. He was just, again, the Yankees probably hope for it with a $324 million guy, but I mean, Nate showed up and really performed how you expect, a number one to start. I mean, I know Sale maybe long term or in the past the number one, but this whole year has been Nate, and he showed up.
I mean, I know you look back at, he's been our most clutch pitcher in the playoffs, and
I mean, because
like looking back to 18, like he dominated that game. I mean, he had 16 runs worth of support, but he was dominant.
Right.
Which everyone was so down. They were like, oh, like I've never seen a town so down in a 108-win baseball team. Granted, they were playing a 100-win team, and they owed us.
Yeah.
We lost game 2. I remember being like, oh, we're gonna go to New York. It's not coming back. Slam the door on him. And then of course, like he pitched pretty well against Houston, and then of course that game 3.
Yeah, I mean, I
Now,
don't know if anyone's had a more valiant effort in a loss before, but it was so great.
yeah, because even like that year, like Sale was still like Sale, like
He was iffy that year, yeah.
And Price had his couple good starts, but he was terrible.
Mhm.
He was terrible.
Against the Yankees.
And even game 1, and even game 2 against Houston, he pitched.
He was like, not great.
Like 6 innings, 4 earned. He just beat Rox Cole in that game.
Right, but I mean, if you look at his postseason stats, and it really is just, I mean, that 2018 run, and then obviously this start last night, we just ERAs like in the mid ones, I think like 1.4 or something like that. And again, he feels like a chunk of innings. I think it was 20 something innings.
Yeah, it's 27 2/3, 1.63, 8.8 WHIP. Hitters are hitting 188 against him.
Yeah. So, and again, we'll kind of get to the next series in a sec here, but yeah, I mean, he got in a groove. Cole did not. He had to get yanked early. Hate to see it.
Kyle Schwarber.
What's that?
Wildcard game.
Yeah, that is funny. That is the other funny note there. Obviously, with Schwarber. Wildcard game was it 2015 or 2016? 2015, right? That's when they played the Pirates. Oh yeah, because they won the division 2016. Yeah.
I remember that night was great for you because that was the night you got retweeted about Big Cat. We were talking about, or a couple weeks before.
It was because everyone's like, "Oh, Cubs are a third place team." I'm like, "Yeah, but they were like the 4th best team in the league." I think like I can't remember who Texas met.
Is there at
Cardinals? Yeah, Cardinals in the division. Pirates were like a game ahead of it. Yeah, they all had like at least 95 wins. Like no question about it.
Cardinals in the DS and then lost to the Mets in the CS.
Right, and then obviously turned it on the next year. But
I was like, I remember that night you texting me about that shoulder home run because I was randomly at UMass for like a Zed concert. And you back and you're like, Schwarber just hit a ball like I've never seen a ball hit that far.
He smashed it.
And then last night I was like, for some reason, I had a good feeling about that pitch. I'm like, I should watch this one. But
I mean, no, I mean not nothing like the 2015 one, but it was still a bomb. That thing left the building, no problem. That's the other thing too. Just quickly back to the Sterling call too. He said it was out of the stadium, which again I thought it might have been off the bat, but it clearly was not. So I mean, Schwarber got on him early too, and then next thing you know, I mean they sneak one across. So obviously then it gets to be 3-0. Rizzo hits the home run.
Yeah, because it was a Schwarber home run, like an infield single and a walk, and then they got him out of there. They had the big strikeout, then double play. They 3-0. At that point, I was nervous. I'm like, I think we needed more runs there.
Yeah, I agree. I do. Because it was first and second, right? No outs.
Yeah. Then Xander struck out.
Yeah.
Verdugo into double play.
Yeah. So again, I would have liked to get a little more runs there. Then obviously I think kind of screwed things up for the whole Uvalde Cora decision because obviously Rizzo hits that home run on Pesky Paul. Then Judge gets that like little dink hit that like if it was hit like 5 miles an hour faster, he's out maybe. But just like it's just like at the worst spot, Zader's playing back. So like it looks way worse than it is because you're all right. Stanton hits a home run here, it's a tie game. So I really didn't like the decision, but I'm almost like comparing it to other things we've seen in the playoffs, and I couldn't get that mad about it just because I've seen. But I wasn't. I would have done it, but I'm just like. I guess like I kind of understand it like Sanders because it'd be one thing if we had like the 2016 Cleveland bullpen. Like I'd get, but it's like I got a lot of question marks there. I think I'd rather ride with Nate.
Yeah. Well, who did we put in again? I forget. We used like
Brazier.
Yeah, it's like he was amazing for us since he got back, and he's a fresh arm. So like, So like maybe, and it's not like okay like. The whole like Snell decision. It's like, well, he's been dominating this entire month of October. Like, where Evaldi's last start against the Yankees, so like 2 starts ago, he was very
standing him up.
He did say he learned a lot, so it's kind of like okay, like we just saw this like 12 days ago. Like let's get a fresh arm in here, and it Stanton hit another.
Yeah, he rocked, and that's something too, Mike. To go back to the inning before too, you mentioned. Because I have a feeling if that's a 5-1 ball game, Uvalde stays in. Uvalde, even maybe even 4. I think it's just the fact that if Stanton gets a hold of one, this is a tie game. It didn't help again the third time through the order, that whole thing. So and then obviously the big.
Luckily, Phil Nevin was there for us.
I was going to say the biggest play of the night. I think the thing that really could have turned things around for the Yankees and ended up halting, and the Red Sox kind of just cruised from there. Is obviously that play at the plate. Was Stanton, rocking another one. And Verdugo kind of playing it weird off the monster, so Kike had to grab it.
This whole argument we had two podcasts ago, where it was like we need Kike in center field, and
Renfroe would have had it. I'm just okay. I'm still. I still
from Xander though.
What's that?
The better throw is from Xander.
Oh yeah, Kike just kind of I think he was like, how can I get rid of this as fast as humanly possible? And he did it. He did. He got rid of it as fast as possible.
He's a perfect spot for it too.
Yeah, and I mean, like I said, Phil Nevin helped him out. And then again, the one defense of Phil Nevin is that Gallo hasn't been able to hit his way out of a paper bag recently, or just the whole year, I guess. So I mean, he strikes out, then all of a sudden you get second and third.
And honestly,
two outs. It
did take perfect backing up. He probably started it as he saw where Verdugo was playing. It took the perfect center fielder play to back it up.
Yeah,
and from Xander, and also shout out the Weck dog, great block of home plate.
Yeah, great. Yeah, Wacky. Again, I guess we were texting all day about who what the lineup was going to be with JD out.
We had the whole argument that Verdugo is probably the odd man out, and then once but then I feel like over the course of the week, I'm like, okay, Kike was making great plays at second, Arroyo wasn't looking that good. We had some bad defense everywhere, so it's like, okay, screw defense. Let's go with. But then once JD trips over a big bag, you're kind of like, okay.
Oh my God, we didn't even mention that on Sunday. JD just rolling his ankle on that bag, so he's obviously out last night.
So at that point, okay, well now JD's the on and out, and just plop a Schwarber.
Right, exactly. So, and that's the thing too. I mean, it was a huge play that saved them the game, and we're talking about maybe a completely different scenario if either that run gets in or. That's the thing too. It's it did save them, but at the end of the day, say they do hold him. Like I said, Gallo strikes out, and I feel it was Torres behind him. I can't even remember the lineup. So I mean, it could have still ended up as no runs, but I mean, the fact that that whole play worked out was awesome, and then it was kind of Verdugo gets a couple more from there. I almost texted. I was talking to Tony last night. I almost texted him in the ninth. I'm like, I bet. I'm like, Stanton. He's right. He's gonna hit. He's due. So luckily it happened at a 6-1 ball game to make it 6-2 the final. Red Sox obviously closed it out. Great outing from the entire bullpen, really. I think the whole pitching staff was no walks last night, right? 11 Ks, I think.
0 walks, yeah.
Yeah, 11 Ks, 0 walks. Obviously Brazier finished that inning.
Yeah, and you got to feel good because Evaldi only threw 71. Brazier again 85. He's been a starter. He literally pitched 5 innings the other day, so it was basically just his bullpen. And it was a good job to get him back, and he's going to be a bullpen guy the rest of the way. He looked great. He did 2 strikeouts. Freaking
Robles back, and then obviously Whitlock.
He gave up the home run, but he got out of there.
Again, I just think Stanton was just fiending, someone was going to give it up.
I think he said that, and that was down the right field line too. He's just okay, whatever.
Yeah, it was going to happen, and I'm happy it happened when it was
when it was
6-1 in the ninth, not
he faced 4
points in the game.
And he threw 8 pitches for 7 strikes. I don't think.
So I think that might be. I mean, you can't do it every game, but I think that's the ideal formula. Get your start at least into the 6th. If Brazier can clean up a mess, then you go Houck in certain situations, then Robles and Whitlock kind of ended up.
Yeah, and we didn't even use I think this is our hottest bullpen, the guys that sort of got us there with Ottavino, Barnes.
Yeah, that's true. I just forget about Ottavino. Yeah, that's the thing too. Yeah, because Barnes, I guess was an all-star this year. He's just been so terrible in the second half. But
I have no idea who would pitch a traditional 9th inning for us. It probably is now Whitlock, even though we want him to be a starter soon. But I guess October is October. Who really cares? Wasn't Wainwright closing out these games?
I was about to say the guy on the mound right now, and then also David Price in 2008. So
it's I didn't want that to be okay, it's August, he's our closer the rest of the year, but now that's October.
You got to ride the hot hand.
You can toss the rule book out.
No, you tossed. It's caution to the wind. You got to go with the hottest hand. So awesome win last night altogether. Our guy Steve in the building, rocking the Reese's Cups costume. It's been 4-0 since then.
Eddie Whitey's really turned things around.
Which again, I still don't even know the full story there.
Yeah.
But also the costume. I mean, ever since he put on the Reese's costume, they've been on fire. Also, how about that? Shout out that kid chugging the beer in center field last night. Did you see that on the Xander home run? Oh, he's Xander hit a home run. They zoom into the crowd. The kid's just like, like probably like 22 or something. So that was obviously awesome.
And shout
out
for the first pitch too.
Yeah, that was great. I mean, I didn't want to jinx it, but I almost texted people. I'm like, all right, we can't lose now, right? Like, I mean, Remdoc throwing it to Eck, the broadcast crew there. So no, just absolutely awesome. And now we turn the page to the Rays. We'll get to the kind of again. I know a lot of games going on now, so we'll kind of let that play out here. But game 1 tomorrow. Have they announced? I mean, I would assume it's going to be Eddie, right?
Eddie versus McClanahan.
Eddie versus, and then we think Sale versus Boz game 2.
You gotta think so.
And then we'll have Nate back on game 3.
And then probably if there's a game 4, I'd say some sort of like
Pavetta,
Hauk, like 3.
Yeah, I don't hate that. Yeah, I agree. That might be the call there. So I think you're lined up okay. I mean, I still think Tampa's obviously the better team, but you're lined up in not a bad spot.
Yeah, like I'm just thinking back to that. Sorry, I just want to finish the pitching point. Like Porcello.
Oh yeah, sorry, go ahead.
Porcello pitched like 1 or 2 innings in game 1 against the Yankees. Then he pitched game 4. Like he started game 4.
Yeah.
So like I would not be shocked, especially seeing how nasty this closer Pavetta in game 162. Like out of them.
What did you say?
Like I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of that nasty curveball from closer Pavetta in game 1.
Closer Pavetta, yeah. But yeah, and then also, sorry, go ahead.
I think now it's just like the way we're probably playing with house money, which I kind of like. But the Rays are tough. Like the fact that's like, I guess the one thing against them is that they have a nasty bullpen, but like they don't have starters, and they do have starters.
Yeah,
that are like 98, and they're all young. Like McClanahan, Rasmussen, and then
don't they have what's his name floating around? Waka.
Yeah, their 5-man rotation was like either rookies or guys in their first full year pitching, like Patino, like who might pitch game 4, was back pitching last year. Like I really listened to the past.
Yeah.
Right between like Rasmussen going 3, then like McClanahan and Baz, and it's like game 4 either Patino or heck even Michael Waka. It's like, oh yeah, that one guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
The bullpen, like with
a lot of it breaks down to how the first 3 games go too. You know, for either team. I mean, but yeah, I mean, I don't know, it's.
Up to like bullpen stats, like.
Oh yeah, I mean, those are probably insane, right?
I'm just trying to think who's out there really, like.
Yeah.
Like Kittredge, Hughes, Springs, Fairbanks, Thompson. Yeah,
I feel like the problem.
Because I mean they've used a lot of rears, they've like traded a lot of people like in and out, like and Glass ended up for the year. So, but it's kind of weird those things where like you like kind of like last year, like between like Glass now still and that Stano bullpen, they're like really pitching matchups. But now they don't hit for average, but God, this team can rake home runs.
Yeah.
Brandon Lau, 9, Rosarena. They have like 2 of the top rookies with the Rosarena and Franco.
Nelly,
Meadows, Yanni Diaz, like even Zunino. Zunino was sneaking at 33 home runs this year.
Jesus. Yeah, I would never guess that. It's also like a weird thing too, because if you think about the Sox bullpen, I feel like it's been of guys who've all been really good at one point, but then like if we got the best out of everyone, we'd be awesome. But like
I just said, like the guys like Robles has been pretty hot, Brazier's been hot. Like Whitlock is probably the most consistent all year. Like But then you think about. You mentioned the guys that were like the start of the year. It was like
got you there, yeah.
Brazier, and
right.
And then at point, it's like, well, Josh Taylor has it. Like now that what's his face, Bryce is out the door. Josh Taylor can.
Yeah.
So.
Right. So, yeah, well, I mean, it's going to be a tough matchup for sure. I'm still, Mike, you might disagree with that, especially with the team I feel like Tampa that's kind of like they don't hit for average, right? Like it's a lot of bombs.
Yeah.
I think you're at full F the defense mode if JD's healthy. If JD's healthy, like, okay, they're going to knock it out of the park or they're probably going to get out anyway. So, like.
I agree, especially in the trop. Like, who knows what's going on there?
Right. I mean, yeah, no one knows how to play defense there. So, I mean, I just feel like, I mean, not to, again, pat on the guy too much. I just feel like I'm not really getting anything out of Arroyo right now. So, again, if JD's healthy, slide Kike to second and just figure the outfield out. I don't know.
At the beginning of the year, like, he was amazing. And even, like, through, like, May and June, he's gotten too many injuries. And he just doesn't seem like.
Yeah. Because he doesn't even need to hit, like, insanely. Like, if he could just hit, like, 250 through, like, I don't know, through the playoffs. Like, I mean, that'd be fine. But, like, I don't know. So yeah, I don't know. Again, if everyone's healthy, I'm especially maybe JD's like ankle, like you see more Schwarber in the outfield than JD, but stick one of them in left. I don't know, or right. I don't even know.
I mean, you can tell with Cora's lineup, she was going F at defense, especially without the D.
Yeah.
Like what was it? Like Schwarber, Martinez.
Oh. Yeah, no, yeah, right, yeah. That's what it was on Friday night. It was Schwarber left, Renfroe in center, JD in right. Yeah. So, I think with the DH, you can obviously put one of them, back in the DH spot, put Verdugo back out there, and yeah I think just ride from there.
I'm really excited to see what this 26 is going to look like, because of course, like Chris Sale was on in the wild card game one. Connor Wong was on it for a third catcher because we knew that Puwaki was going to catch Evaldi.
And then you pinch it at some point. Yeah,
we had a pretty good weekend in Washington. If you want to in a pinch hit scenario for like Arroyo, you at least have like a catcher.
Exactly.
Right.
So I don't know. I have to feel like they won't carry three catchers, and then probably maybe another arm comes out. I didn't even see I didn't fully look at the whole bullpen, but
Sale wasn't on there.
So that's what I'm saying. Who do you replace Sale with?
Wasn't on it either.
Oh really?
Yeah.
He might stay off. I don't know.
If you look at his numbers, he has I think I heard the guys on S10 say a 2.99 this year or something.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'd have to look at the wildcard roster to see who might get bumped off. But yeah, no, it'd definitely be intriguing because I think, okay, so you go with the lineup we said, then you got a bench of I mean, maybe if you do that, you kind of F the defense. Maybe that's
306, 1.45.
Yeah, because I mean, no, I don't know, because I feel like Wong might be the only hitter you lose, but and so say you swap out Wong for JD if he's healthy again, then everyone else kind of stays the same. You have Arroyo, Arauz.
Red Sox carried 12 pitchers, no Sale JD. So
12 pitchers.
Yeah, so it's going to be Puwaki and Vasquez, by Connor Wong, Schwarber, Dahlbeck, Arroyo, Bogarts, Devers, Verdugo,
Arauz,
Kike, Renfroe. Duran was on the roster. Or Duran.
Oh, he was, right.
Duran and Arauz were on it.
I want Duran on the roster. I need that eighth inning pinch run situation.
Well, it's it was saying where they play, and this outfield had outfield / PR for Duran. Pinch hitter, I saw, and just utility for Arauz. So I'd say, depending on JD, it's definitely I'm expecting 13-13.
So you think they'll almost lose another position player?
I think if JD's playing Wong, Duran, Arauz, one will stay.
One, yeah, that could be true for sure. If they switch the numbers, that's what I think what's going to come down to. Because you want the big bat and Shaw off the bench for sure.
We had Evaldi, Pivetta, Whitlock, Hauk, Robles, Brazier, Erod, Richards, Ottavino, Barnes, Davis.
Yeah, I mean,
I
don't know. I feel like it just depends. If you go for this full on F the defense strategy, then maybe now you have Arroyo off the bench. Maybe you don't need Arauz if that's a position you go with.
Or
if you do end up swapping out. Yeah,
would you even be shocked if they went 14 pitchers?
If they went what?
14 pitchers?
I wouldn't. You gotta have some. There's too many scenarios in the playoffs with pinch hit. I mean, you saw it last. I mean, I know we started Plawecki, but I mean, you pinch hit Shaw and then Vasquez comes in. I know that's kind of a specific one, but that's already two guys right there. I'm not comfortable with only three guys off the bench. I gotta have at least four.
Creative. I mean, it was only of course Sale's getting added, but are we gonna keep both lefties? What do you see? Davis miss it? Is Richards gonna fall off? Are we just gonna keep Tyler?
I don't.
I don't know. To see this roster tomorrow.
Yeah. Well, we'll see then. But again, should be a good series. Or I hope it is anyway. Again, Rays obviously a better team on paper, but see how that all shakes out. And then on the other side of the AL bracket, we have the Astros and White Sox starting tomorrow as well. Who the game ones in that one? Is that
I was about to say, I want to get some probables up.
all right, cool. I'll stall in the meantime. I'm still checking out the wild card game of the NL right now. Cards Dodgers still tied at 1 at the bottom of the 6th. Got Will Smith at the dish.
Oh, well, we got the Lance battle tomorrow.
Nice. The colors and Lynn.
Yeah. Giolito versus Frember Valdez in game 2.
All right.
And then no probables for game 3, but I would assume if he's healthy, Carlos Rodon.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah. White Sox got a good staff.
Yeah. Is Greinke alive?
Somewhere.
Rodon Greinke? I don't know.
That's true. But yes, that's the watch. The Dodgers have
It's going to be
another man on.
Could be the last ride for the Stros.
A lot of guys' contracts ended this year.
Correa. And yeah, it's more of. They'll still have Altuve. They recommend Yordan Alvarez. I think this might be the Yordan Alvarez becomes a household name type of playoffs.
Okay, all right. And Mike, that's still you're still riding your AL pick. You said a rematch of the 2017 World Series.
Yep. A lot of wild card game right now, but
yeah,
I think if Houston and Tampa, I think the White Sox are still like.
I wanted to pick the White Sox. I did.
I think they're just too young. Like they kind of got.
Yeah.
Oakland.
They're a piece or two away.
Yeah, so they did. If you look at that roster, like getting Robert and Jimenez back the second half, they have those 3 starters. Like they got a good bullpen. Like even at the back end with like Hendricks and Kimbrel, like they sound on paper nice. It's just I don't know. It's like they're young. Like they lost to Oakland last year. Like who loses to Oakland in the playoffs? No one. And I just forgot about them because like even like the Astros like still like somewhat fiend off like Oakland and Seattle, whereas they kind of just clinched the division like 2 weeks ago. So like I feel like I haven't paid attention to the White Sox since Tim Anderson hit him in the corn.
Right, exactly. But yeah, again, I went straight chalk with mine. I was telling Mike I went with Giants Rays just because I feel like Giants seem like they have the Team Destiny vibes, and the Rays keep stupidly winning a lot of these games in the playoffs.
I think I'm just like I pick with my heart.
You should, yeah. I kind of wish I did too. I thought about it for like 5 minutes, so I was like,
I didn't take the hard. I did the Astros beat them.
What did you say?
I think the Astros beat them. So.
Oh yeah, so no revenge for the Dodgers. But yeah, kind of going on the other side. Like I said, this game's going on. Winner obviously faces the Giants.
The Dodgers beat them, not the Red Sox. I picked the Astros to beat them.
Oh! I thought you.
I was like, I wish I picked my heart. The Red Sox would be my champions, but
yeah,
even 1 series against Tampa because of the short series. Anything.
Yeah. But yeah, so we got a winner of this one going out to the Bay. There's a nice shot of Magic Johnson here on the television. You might see it in a second. But again, really good game going on now. Like I said, first and second with 2 outs in the 6th. So again, the hottest team in baseball facing the second best team in baseball, which by record
the best roster in baseball.
Right, again, but the team, the Giants, the Giants were able to just edge them out all year again, winning. It took all the way till Sunday, but they were able to hold on to that lead. So either way, going to get a very good matchup on that, and then obviously we'll have the old Battle of Milwaukee teams on the other side with the Braves and Brewers going at it there. So
we got Morton Burns game 1 there, Fried Woodruff, and then no problems for game 3, but I'm assuming a Freddie Peralta. That's just that the Brewers have a lot of pitching, man. That's.
Oh, I feel like he was out twice. I feel like he was on the base and then he also tagged him. Like one way or another, this guy's out.
So just that's going to be great. That's the one thing. If that pitching can hold up, the Brewers can beat anyone in baseball.
Yeah. I mean, they're a fun team. I mean, I hope you're right here, but I just I just feel like between the Cardinals and both these NL West teams, there's just a lot of talent here.
Kind of give them the business. They played twice in the last couple weeks, and I think they went 1-5 against them. So
yeah, absolutely. But anyway, and then like I said, we'll obviously see who comes out of this one to face the Giants, but great story for them this year. We're getting 107 wins, which is just nuts. But I think we're in for a very good playoffs. Again, we'll have the AL tomorrow, the full slate Friday, and then some NL on Saturday. And then another, AL will be back on Sunday there. But
anyway, when it's all said and done, I know we can give our update now. I think we should do it all at once. But I know we're talking about predictions, but we got to read that sheet once baseball season's officially over. So now we set some over-under.
Oh, yes, that's true. We'll have to do that after the season ends.
And stuff.
Yeah. I don't even remember half the stuff I picked.
I wrote it down, neither do I. So it'll be interesting, but I think we should wait for the
Yeah, absolutely. But again, it's always fun this time of year because we get started divisional, especially when that first weekend hits, because you get the full slate of college football, then you get the NFL on Sunday. So that's what in the biz we call transition. So going on to college, again, we'll have more of a preview coming up this weekend. We'll recap the week that just happened here. So we did see, again, assuming you're good, Mike, there. I just thought the transition was too good to pass up. Yeah. So, I mean, I guess I'll lead a little selfishly with my team that I was, we were at your boy Ryan's place. I had to watch on my phone because, again, the whole ACC Network Xfinity debacle that still exists somehow. The one advantage of YouTube TV over cable. But it just seemed like a game. And, again, I know you probably might not have much to add because, again, I was just watching it in the kitchen. But it seemed like a game where BC kept hanging around and they just couldn't jump back in it. It seems like Clemson this year, as poorly as they've played, it's been mostly their offense because, I mean, even think of the games that they won.
Well.
Yeah, 14-8, all these games. So I like to think that if Djokovic was healthy, and that's not a knock on Grosel, but I think if he's in there, we might win that game. But you hung around 19-13 in the final. I think it just sucks because it's a year that it was actually a winnable game in Clemson, but they were able to just – it wasn't – what's that? We deranked them. They played poorly enough against us. They fell out of 25. So, I mean, again, our one loss of the season, just 6 points to Clemson. Again, I know it doesn't hold the same weight that it used to, but
they covered.
What'd you say?
They covered.
They did cover. Yeah, great teams cover. So obviously they're off this week, and then another game under the lights against NC State the week after that. So another big test for them. But yeah, I don't know. It just sucks because you want to look at some positives there, but I think the game was there for them to win several times. They made too many mistakes. But again, like you mentioned, that Clemson defense has been their bright spot this year. An otherwise very disappointing year for Clemson football. But I think other than that, it's funny because Mike was at Oktoberfest. At one point, I think they were letting people in for $7. I was way too late on that train. So I showed up there and I just walked to Tony C's down there and I just sat and watched some college football at the bar, made some friends there. So I was kind of trying to catch some of the slate on that one. A lot of TVs there, which is very helpful. I think the main takeaway from the day, and I think other people have said this, is just that it seems like there's a big drop-off from the top two teams to everyone else in the country.
Yeah, so we saw Alabama beat Ole Miss 42-21, but that's kind of a backdoor.
Well, Mike, for someone who was watching the beginning of this game live, Ole Miss looked good out of they just could not they missed 2 fourth down play, and it's just like, I don't know. I mean, it was early on, there was some, they were in the red zone, but I'm like, you can't kick a field goal here. It was 4th and 1 from the 6 or something, and it was just like, I think they missed that. And I was trying to go next to me, I think that's game. It's just if they got it, they were really going to be in a fight. But I think they couldn't convert that. Alabama scores. Then you get another 4th down.
Well,
next thing you know, 14-0. Yeah.
When I showed up, it was the start of the third quarter, and Alabama was punching in a 1-yard rushing touchdown to go up 35. So. Yeah, I know. It just again, Ole Miss had a chance early to land a punch, and they couldn't do it. So yeah, it kind of just went off from there. Yeah, Bam obviously showed their dominance. And then Georgia, I didn't even know. Who did Georgia even play? I can't even. Arkansas, remember?
Oh, duh. Right, yeah. I was here watching that.
Sick over.
Oh my God. Right. I think it's because like in my mind, my day started at that bar, but I forgot I watched some of the noon games here. And I forgot think it was at noon. It was a weird time for a 2 versus 8 game.
Yeah, there was 2 versus 8, and then with Michigan and Wisconsin was there. And then the 2-3 off of Cincy Notre Dame.
Yep. With, again, huge win from Cincy. But to rewind quickly, Mike, to that Georgia-Arkansas game, both of us not too happy about that one because over was 49. If you told me before Georgia got us 37, I'd be feeling pretty damn good. I didn't think Arkansas put up a goose egg to really seal the deal for us there. Because then I was watching it too, and I'm like, watch, so I got a touchdown, like 37-7, but they didn't even do that. So, not a great outcome there. What'd you say?
You didn't even get us hope. I kind of like it.
No, but then also in the early game, I did break even for that slate was the Michigan money line against Wisconsin. And Michigan slowly looking like, again, they haven't done too much yet, but they're eking their way into the contender conversation. Obviously, if they won the Big 12, the spot's theirs, or Big 10 rather. A lot of Big 10 teams up there they'll have to knock off along the way, but they're getting their way back into the conversation here.
Yeah, I think they haven't been down trailing at any point. I thought I heard that stat.
No, it is. Yeah, I think it's Alabama, Georgia, them, and maybe BYU. I can't remember if that was confirmed or not, but haven't been trailing all year.
Yeah, Friday night BYU and Iowa both won pretty convincingly.
Mm-hmm. And then the other loss, the big loss was Stanford. They seem to always kind of do this to teams, but huge win versus Oregon to knock them down in the rankings. So again, a little bit of a shuffling of the deck up there. Oklahoma, big game this week against Texas, the Red River Showdown. I just still don't think that they're for real. I think obviously if they run the table, they're in, but I think they're going to chip up along the way.
Yep. And then another upset outside of that Oregon game was that Kentucky beat Florida.
Yeah, that's true. Huge one there for Charlie's boys. Because Florida looked like they might have been creeping back in after that.
Because they lost
after that close loss to Bama.
Lost by 2 to Alabama, ranked 13, and they didn't drop anything.
Yeah, exactly. It seemed like a situation where if they could knock off Georgia and then run the team. It would have been tough to get in with 2 losses if you then lost to Bama again in the SEC championship game. But it seemed like, they seem like all right. They might have something here, and then you go ahead and lose to Kentucky there, which is obviously not great. So
Kentucky defense has just been there this year.
I
know it's team up and down from my old season, but yeah.
Yeah. So top 5 now. Like I said, we have Iowa, Penn State 3-4, and then Cincy did sneak their way into the top 5 with that win against Notre Dame. So it just sucks for them because they have no big games on their schedule, right? That was pretty much it.
For who? BYU?
Cincy, sorry.
Well,
SMU, you got to hope that if you're a Cincy fan, you're rooting for SMU until November 20th to go on a bit of a run here.
Yeah. Because BYU, they have some teams. Of course, they beat Utah. They beat Arizona State. They got Boise State. They had Baylor, who was just ranked, but they lost this week. USC was preseason ranked to end the year. So, if they can get back to relevance, that could be something. But, sorry. The ESPN app lost me for a second. But, it's kind of wild. So, it's really now set up for some big games this week. I know you mentioned Oklahoma, Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The 2 biggest losers from last week, Arkansas and Ole Miss playing. Georgia, Auburn. Auburn was able to pull off a big win at LSU. And then, of course, the 4 at 3 of Penn State at Iowa State. So
Penn State, Iowa.
Yeah, my bad.
Wait, I missed this going through the slate. That's awesome.
Yeah,
Penn State, Iowa.
Yeah, a little bit lackluster. Hey, Kentucky's up to 16. They're hosting LSU. That should at least be a close one at night. And then the big game of the night they were probably previewing forever was Alabama going to Kyle Field at Texas A&M, but they lost again to Mississippi State and lost to Arkansas the week before, so they're on a 2-game skid. That's kind of really taken the luster out of this one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's a good conference. The A&M's in last place at the SEC West. Auburn, LSU, Arkansas, Mississippi State, Ole Miss, and A&M.
Yeah. So, I mean, again, if you're Cincy, I mean, someone's got to come out of the Big Ten. But I mean, either way, you're probably going to move up a spot this week if you take care of business. But I mean, yeah, you gotta hope SMU starts kicking the crap out of some teams, really going on a tear and setting up that November 20th matchup to really try to make a case for yourself to get into this playoff.
Yeah.
But
that would be like 4 versus like 19.
They're 24 now. I mean, they could sneak into like the mid-teens if they really start, doing some damage in the American. But and some other teams kind of falter along the way. But yeah, I mean, again, it seems like some upsets last weekend. We have a pretty decent slate coming up this weekend too. We're really getting into the nitty-gritty as we get deeper into October here. But yeah, should be a good week.
It's just so back to Oregon, back to like Dave. He's like, oh, I'm finally back all into this team. I love it. Like Herbert's cruising the NFL. Like Oregon's back. They're number 3. This was unfair.
Yeah.
Of course, I should have saw that loss at Stanford coming from a while away.
I don't know about Anthony Brown. I don't know. It's tough. Yeah. I know. I did really want. I thought we might see them in the playoff this year. So yeah, Pac-12 dead again.
I like when the Pac-12 teams get in there, Pac-10, whatever. But
I know. But yeah, I don't think that'll be the case this year. So yeah.
Oklahoma State's sneaky 5-0.
Yeah.
Wake's
5. Baylor. Yeah, Wake's like the only team that has an outside shot, I feel like, from the ACC.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I don't see that happening.
Kentucky controls their destiny.
I guess they're undefeated, right? Yeah, I mean, they're undefeated in the SEC. If you keep that going, yeah,
they can beat LSU.
Control their own destiny.
They can beat LSU. I don't know. That's going to be another probably that's going to go the same way as Arkansas, but because they play Georgia the week after at Georgia,
right?
It'll probably be another.
Right.
Could be good, but then really like Georgia will win like 35-3.
Yeah. But yeah, I think we'll have another good slate in front of us here on Saturday. And
it's just one last point. It looks like it could be chaos from 3 down. Because I mean, Penn State, they still got Penn State is 3 Iowa. At 3 Iowa, at 7 Ohio State, home against 9 Michigan, and then ends the year at 11 Michigan State. So, and then Iowa kind of has a soft schedule this year because they're
really
because Iowa's with the Minnesota, Purdue, Illinois, Nebraska, Northwestern side. Usually Wisconsin's the other team. That's why you always feel like, oh, how does Wisconsin get every year? But now they're just terrible.
Right.
So,
but definitely a path there.
That's why I'm really going to be hoping for Penn State to pull off an upset this week, just to get more chaos.
Upset. What's the spread?
It's
3 versus 4.
Yes, guess the spread.
Wait, who's home?
It's 1.5.
I said who's home. You didn't let me guess.
It's Iowa. Well, I said at Iowa earlier.
Okay, I was just confirming. I was gonna maybe go 2, but yeah, exactly.
Well, that's I really want them to win just because they have more other ranked teams. So I need a chaos year again. I need an 07.
I like Penn State. I wouldn't hate Penn State sneaking in.
That's what I'm saying. Like get Penn
or Michigan, yeah.
Because I'm assuming they'll probably lose to one of Ohio State, Michigan, or Michigan State, or heck, a trap game.
So have a lot of one-loss teams there.
Yeah, like Ohio State has 1 loss. They have 1 loss. Iowa's 1 loss because this is like Iowa's last big game, unless they trip up on their own because they have no.
Ohio State.
Iowa has no ranked teams throughout.
Oh, I think you said Ohio, and I didn't know which way you meant there. I'm like Ohio State always ends the year with Michigan, so.
Yeah, because they have 2. They're host Penn State and then Purdue. I mean, then they have at Wisconsin, at Northwestern.
Yeah,
that would be pretty.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see when we get there. But yeah, I mean, I think that pretty much wraps up college. It's crazy. We've been on for about an hour here. We haven't even touched the NFL, which is a lot of times we get pretty early. I mean, I guess we usually do lead with college, but yeah, I mean, again, we were talking before the call, Mike. I think we both were weirdly interrupted during this NFL Sunday. It was kind of a weird week for us.
Doing a lot of crap.
Yeah, I was home, but like tired, so I fell asleep. Then I had to go out and do errands kind of during the witching hour, which wasn't ideal. But um, then caught up late, and then obviously the Sunday night game was appointment television here in New England. So I guess we could start with Thursday because we didn't really. Again, I didn't really watch much of this game, but it seemed to be the Jaguars jumping out early, and since he able to come back and win that one. So
Yeah. I watched the end of that. It was basically Lawrence didn't look that bad in the first half. I mean,
yeah,
as a softball, but like he looks like, and he made some big throws too. So like looks like he's kind of getting it. He just he has a crazy ass coach that lost respect to the team and
they were not able to grind out a victory.
the turning point of the game was 14-0, and they had 4th and goal from the 1 yard line at the end of the first half, and they ran a quarterback option out of the shotgun.
It didn't work?
Nope.
This ain't college, boy.
Yeah, so all the Bengals in the second half. Joe Burrow, just he's good. Like I don't know. I'm excited.
Yeah, no, he's
now 3-1. I mean, that's tough games. I don't think.
Yeah,
not that they're above 500 at the end of the year, but they're which is nice.
They're 3-1. You can't lie about that. Yeah, Jacksonville falls at 1-4. Can you just go to USC? Like, can we just stop? I'm gonna say this every week. Like, can we just, like you worked in college, stay in college, okay? Like, it's a really good job.
Another 2-year retirement.
Yeah, but I mean that job is sitting there, so you kind of have to. Yeah, just pull Petrino, get the neck brace. But yeah, wild story with Urban Meyer. Just gonna leave it at that. Just crazy. But yeah, then we got to Sunday. I mean, again, probably won't get too in depth for many of these games.
Yeah.
Buffalo.
Like, read off some games, or you're reading off games.
Yeah, well, we'll get. I'll read them off. We'll get any more in depth in some of them. I mean, Buffalo wagons have been circled. They're fully circled. They might be the best team in the league, at least right now.
ESPN Power Rankings had them number 1.
That's why I said that. Yeah.
Like again, the week 1 is going to be so confusing between. We just got to I know Big Cat was saying this. We got to toss. Yeah. We got to toss that field game out.
It's just so weird that it happened because it's like they've gone in 2 completely different directions following that game.
So weird because that was 30-3. This one they were up 10-0. We're still getting the offense going, and then randomly, there was 2 muff punts that week. The Browns,
right?
And they both couldn't recover after both those muff punts.
Well, the only thing I'll say that's a little bit different about that week 1 matchup is like the Saints aren't bad. Like they're not bad. Like the Steelers look bad. Like they don't look good at all. Like the Saints will probably hover around 500. The Steelers, I don't know if I can say the same for. So that's like weird with the complete reversal. Whereas the Packers just look like they weren't ready week 1 and they've bounced back. But yeah, the Steelers and Bills, like it kind of throws you off both of their mindsets. But yeah, the Bills ever since that have just been on a tear through the AFC.
The rain was not kind to Davis Mills. His 11 of 21, 87 yards and 4 picks.
Mm-hmm.
Texans defense did stop him a lot because outside of that Dawson Knox touchdown in the first quarter, there was 33-yard field goal, 26-yard field goal, 21-yard field goal, 28-yard field goal. And then quarter, they really ran up the score to make sure they covered that big spread. Yeah,
17.5. But yeah, I mean, they just seem awesome. I have to always think the Chiefs are going to come back. I mean, they're still at 2-2 now, but I don't know. Buffalo's looking really, really good. Maybe this is the year that they could potentially knock off the 2-time defending AFC champions there. But yeah, I mean,
do those Chiefs?
What's that?
You just transition to those Chiefs.
I guess we should. Yeah, I mean, I guess we'll bounce around a little. They're still in that 1 o'clock hour, so we'll Or why am I not seeing them on my sheet? Am I an idiot? No. Okay. Yep. Anyway, Philly. Philly didn't look too bad from what I saw. It just it just seems like a situation where, one, it seems like whether you think Hurts is the guy or not, he just seems like he's throwing it way too much. They're just dropping him back. They're not giving Miles Sanders any touches. And 2, just it's a situation where you got to capitalize every time versus Kansas City. They didn't quite do that.
Yeah, just looking through it, it was Jake Elliott had a 29, a 25, and a 31-yard field goal.
Yeah. Sometimes you got to just roll the dice there. Hope you get the touchdown.
That was on early, so that was that to go up 3-0 to get it.
Because they were winning.
Yeah, because it was 3-0, then it was 17-10, and then they kicked the field goal to make it 14-13.
Yeah.
And then they kicked a field goal to make it 21-16. Like those 3 field goals were all like jump on the throat early, kept them in the game.
Mm-hmm.
They got 1 touchdown there. That's a tie game, and then just a lot of the Tyreek Hill play.
Yeah, because if I'm not mistaken, like I said, I think Hurts was like pretty solid in that. It's just like again,
48, 387 yards, 2 touchdowns, and he chipped in 47 yards rushing.
Yeah. So I mean, yeah, it just seems like again they had to capitalize more getting the ball in the end zone, which they didn't quite do. But I mean, at the end of the day, the Chiefs were not going to fall to 1-3 in Philly. So yeah, and again, they were able to get the job done there. Mahomes with his little the little underhand pass.
Yeah.
I agree. I think that's going to go wrong someday. I don't know.
Yeah, I can see.
I have to think.
Like whether it's the Bucs or heck, even like I know that a tough Sunday, like a Ram, like Aaron Donald's just like destroying the offense.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Who'd you say before that?
Like whether it's just someone in the Bucs again, or like.
Oh, okay. I don't know if I heard you say Myles Garrett because I was going to say that, and I don't want to like repeat myself. I guess I already played them, but I mean, if you get to the playoffs, Vita Vea just lodges in his helmet, his bare arms and hands. That'd be awesome. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it works if I feel like with Kelsey and Hill, it's like one of them's going to be working in any given game. Like there's no way they're both going to be out. So. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I know because I had Kelsey in fantasy. I'm like, oh, he actually didn't blow up this week, which is weird. But yeah, Chiefs got the job done. They're 2-2, still at least tied at the bottom of the. Or are they straight up at the bottom? No, of the standings.
They're at the bottom.
Yeah, because the Chargers. Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, again, only after 4 weeks. But all right, other game I have, kind of going back to the order I was in before, Detroit at Chicago. We saw a pretty good Justin Fields game. He did actually just get announced the starter today. He's officially QB1. Yeah. Never bad when the Lions come into town after you're a little bit demoralized. How about that weird? Did you see the weird interception or fumble? I don't even know what they called it.
Yeah,
Goff.
Like hit him in like the eye, bounced off.
And
just landed on the D tackle's hands. Like.
Yeah, exactly. So that was a weird play. I mean, the Lions, on top of being again not very good or just getting absolutely no luck this year, so like that happened, and yeah, I don't know. It seems like the Bears finally ran like an offense that should have like a Justin Fields offense, not Justin Fields running an Andy Dalton offense. So
yeah. And bad news for him. Looks like Montgomery's up for a month, but hey, they got playoff Davian. So
we have to. It's true. People forget that. But yeah, I mean, I'm just trying to go through here. I mean, yeah, Fields 11-17, 209, not too shabby. But yeah, like I said, the Bears now up to 2-2. So they seem like they're going to be again hovering around that mark all year. They seem like they always do.
Yeah, Dan Campbell was bad at math again.
Yeah, wait, what was that again?
I think it was like with like 5 or 6 minutes left. They had like a 4th and 5 at like the 20-yard line, and he went for it when he should have just kicked the points, got a stop.
Oh, because they're at 10, right? Yeah, exactly, yeah. Just didn't want to try the kicker out there. But yeah, I mean, like I said, good win for the Bears. Hopefully Fields starts getting in his groove now. And then Lions, 0-4. But I do think Big Cat did rank them, though. Out of the 2 0-4 teams left, they're the better one.
Yeah.
So they got that going for them. But also a game that seems like it ended kind of wildly was this Washington-Atlanta game. So Heineke versus Ryan, it just seemed like, again, the only thing I can think of that happened in this game was that was it the McKissick touchdown? The boomer? Yeah.
That was the game clincher. It was
right.
The 3 things I knew before that was like Cordell Patterson had 3 receiving touchdowns.
Oh, right. Yeah, he was awesome. Yeah.
What else? There was that roughing the passer when it was on like 4th down. Like Chase Young kind of like tapped Matt Ryan. He just like crumpled into the ground.
Yeah.
That led to like the Falcons taking the lead. Heineke, like I agree, he's crazy. Like, at one point, I think it was like after that crumple moment, the Falcons went up by 8 because they scored on that drive a touchdown.
Yeah.
Like Heineke at one point just like was like falling down, sort of like that Jameis touchdown against the Pats, but like even crazier. He just tossed up,
Yeah.
just like timed it up well and caught it. And then after that, they tried to make a 2-point conversion to tie the game, and it took like 10 minutes because there was like 5 penalties on both sides of the team. Didn't get it, and then at the end, with like a minute left, Heineke just scrambled around, threw it across the field to McKissick, who was able to get it in with some theatrics from Boomer.
Right, yeah. And like I have to admit, full disclosure here, hand up. I effed up on this one when I filled out my sheet. I just think I straight up missed this game. I have no idea what the spread was. I feel like I would have picked Washington just because, I mean, they just seem like a better team. What was the spread? Do we even know?
Let me open up the CBS app.
Again, easy to say knowing they won the game, but I have no idea what the spread was. So you have to get us to trust me on this one. But
Yeah.
even if it was 6.5, I'll limit it. What was it?
Let me see.
You can figure it out. But yeah, again, just seems like Washington. They seem like a team that's going to win the games they should win. Probably not really, having huge wins, but
Yeah.
what did you say?
Washington 1.5.
Okay. Do you believe me?
Yes.
Okay.
I think I picked it.
What did you say?
We do very similar picks, so.
Yeah. I'll enter this in. I'm just going to write this down so I don't forget. Yeah, I must have cut off my ESPN app when I was filling that out the other day. But anyway, let's see. Keep going down the list here. Carolina at Dallas. I think Dallas might be for real-ish a little bit. At least in the NFC East, I have to think that they seem like the clear-cut best team out there. I know, things will kind of happen on the stretch here and we're only 4 weeks in. I just feel like there is going to be a situation where I almost want to say they'll run away with it, but that never seems to happen in the division, even though the champions kind of change every year. I feel like it always comes down to the last few weeks with that division. I feel like but it just seems like a little bit of a different year where the Cowboys actually seem like they have everything in order. Washington obviously had Fitzpatrick go out. The Giants seem like they're rebuilding. The Eagles seem like they're going to be this weird, like slightly below 500 team. So I don't know. I feel like it's there for the Cowboys to really take a stranglehold on this division this year.
They're good.
They're good, right? Yeah.
I think there's a lot of good teams in the NFC between like the entire West, the Bucks,
Packers.
They're not like the slouch division anymore. That's going to sneak in. Of course, they're legitimately good. They surprisingly cut Jalen Smith this week, but I don't care. The linebackers are still really good. Like Micah Parsons is great. Trey Diggs, or with his 5 picks.
Trayvon Diggs, yeah, exactly.
His 5 picks in 4 weeks.
Yeah.
They can run the ball now. Both like Zeke and Pollard are back. They have all the weapons. Like even Dalton Schultz is woke up the tight end position. Dan Quinn is coordinator with this backwards hat. It's working.
Yeah. Again, he is a good defensive coordinator. He's didn't quite. And even as a head coach, he just kind of ran its course, but he is a really good defensive coordinator.
Because you see the 28 points, and there was 2 touchdowns to end the game that were a really backdoor. And in the first half, it's hard to stop the NFL leading rusher.
I was just gonna say we're burying the lead here with the best rusher in the NFL, Sam Darnold.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's kind of, and that's the thing. Carolina, obviously, I think the score is a little closer than it actually was, but
that was a
I don't think you can really hang your head too much if you're a Carolina fan. you took care of business the first. Again, Jets and Texans aren't impressive, but the Saints coming off of that 38-3 week 1 when you played in week 2, that's really nothing to slouch at. And now you have some games out here for you that you'll really be able to see what your team is made of. You got. Look at the schedule now. You're hosting the Eagles, hosting the Vikings, going to the Giants, going to the Falcons, hosting the Patriots. I don't know. I feel like that's a 5-game stretch. I think you could potentially go 4-1 there. I don't know. Maybe even.
Especially on Gilmore.
Yeah, right. So you'll see the Patriots kind of right there, and then after that, Cardinals that's probably a loss. But then you got football team, Dolphins, Falcons again, and then that's really when things get ugly. You got to be in a pretty good spot by week 14 here, because then you wrap up with at Bills, host the Bucks, at Saints, go to the Bucks. So yeah,
weird. I know they do sometimes
they can have 3 losses at that point and then lose 3 of the last 4.
Played the last 2 out of the 3 weeks last year, but now even with an 18-game schedule, I find that shocking. 2 divisional teams.
Yeah. It's weird. But yeah, I think the Panthers, they can really run that record up. It just got to be like, again, 3, maybe 4 losses before you get to those last 4 weeks, because it's going to get ugly.
10-4. Like, okay. Maybe
it's like, let's just hope 10-7, having 10 or yeah, exactly. Well, with 4 games, yeah, either 9-4 or 10-3, and it's like, let's hope like 10-7 or something works. Yeah, I don't think a bad team there. A team that was looking to get off the schneid was Indianapolis at Miami. Again, I don't even know if I saw like any of this game, if we're gonna be honest. I'm like, what even happened here?
I think the only comment I had today was I texted you. I saw a Jacoby Brissett jersey, a Colts one.
Jersey, that's your today, and that's your take on the game. Yeah, I think that.
Yeah, who buys a Colts jersey in Boston? Like, I was.
You don't know? Maybe he's from Indiana. Jonathan Taylor. He was good. He had 103 yards and a touchdown.
I don't mind. Like, good for the Colts.
Yeah.
They have some soft games.
That's all.
They can catch up.
That's all I had. That's all I had. I said Jonathan Taylor. That's all I got. That's my both 2-1-3 teams here. Glad we lost to them. Patriots. I guess we're one of them too now. But
and then while we're doing the weird games, should we just do Browns Vikings?
14-7. That is not what you thought it would be, because it was not 2 touchdowns by the Browns, right? It was like they went for 2 early on, I think.
Yeah,
if I'm not mistaken.
I think I think it was because the Vikings marched downfield. Jefferson caught a touchdown on the first drive, and then it was just a lot of nothing the rest of the way. I think they went up like 8. It was either 8-7 or 11-7, and then.
Well, it would have been both. It would have been both. It was 8-7, then 11-7.
Yeah.
And then 4. Yeah, Kevin Stefanski revenge game.
They just seem like they do too much on the defense side.
Odell was back. I mean, was he back last week? Odell, I can't remember.
I think he was back the week before.
Chubb at 100 yards. Jefferson is still awesome. Yep. I think that's pretty much it. All right, I think we can wrap up the 1 o'clock window with two New York games to 2 New York wins. So first, we'll start with the G-men going down to the first game back in New Orleans, and actually a really good game from Danny Dimes in this one. His mic's looking very intriguingly at the TV. What are they reviewing, like a tag-up situation?
Yeah. It's basically like it was a good fly ball, so you're around it first and I don't touch the bag. But yeah, honestly, it was cool. Danny Dimes did the but I think it was a Saquon Barkley show.
Yeah, no, he was awesome too. Again, as an owner of Saquon to replay, he showed up for sure.
It was 3-0. I've done the last 2. The Shane Norton undefeated teaser of the week. Saquon Barkley just ruined. It wasn't so bad for Shane because, again, he was 3-0. I was only 2-1, and he's a proud Saquon fantasy owner. But the Chiefs Saints, basically, they can't lose teaser. Saquon just ruined it for me.
Yep. So, yeah, I mean, again, I don't know if there's too much for this one. I know we're obviously getting late here on the East Coast. But yeah, Danny Dimes was awesome. Like I said, Barkley, a good game. Kenny Golladay actually had his first good game as a Giant here.
There's like a couple games.
Jameis didn't really screw up. I don't know. What's that?
It was more of just like they couldn't extend the drive after they got it back to 21-18. I feel like I was watching like, oh crap, like, that's close now. Like, should I be worried about it? Like, there's not too much time left. And before I knew it, the Giants had the ball, like they're on 40. Like I feel like it was like 3 minutes later.
Yeah.
It's like 3 to like 5 games a year. They don't win it all, like because they already had 2 this year. The Giants just like competent, like against Washington. They're off.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm also trying to watch it. So if you tag up from first and you touch second, do you have to touch it again? What?
You have to touch it again.
You do. Okay. Yeah, I wrote them safe. All right. But yeah, so again, huge win for the G-Men. And then the Jets also getting their first win of the year. Again, Zach Wilson looked not terrible in this one. He made that dime of a pass along the sidelines there. I saw Matt Kyle post.
Corey Davis revenge game.
Corey Davis revenge game, exactly.
I I saw a lot of people betting the Titans, and I'm like, that line's too close. It felt dirty to me, and I was right.
6, yeah.
They were 6 points better than the Jets, and then it was just a lot of key stops. Like you said, I think that the time of possession was like 40 minutes of the Titans. It just settled for a lot of field goals.
I was about to say that must be it because, I mean, think about it. Tannehill was 30 of 49, 298 yards on a touchdown. Henry was 33 carries, 157 yards on a touchdown. So it's like, yeah, I mean, they had the yards and obviously a couple touchdowns there, but yeah, they clearly, I mean, because they had 3 field goals in the first half. Yeah, Jets hung around.
Yeah, they kept staying in the game. Zach Wilson was able to make the big play he needed to. And seeing all these field goals now, I'm disgusted. Because, I was kind of bouncing around. I only did a couple bets. So, I had a good Saturday. But
I did none. I don't even know how I ended up doing Saturday. Where's my balance?
You're up like $22 because you bet 3 games.
Hell yeah.
You were 2-1.
What was because BC covered. I was like, I keep thinking yeah. Because I know I split the first ones and okay, cool. I was like, last Sunday went so poorly for me. I'm like, I gotta stay away for a week at least.
I was sneaky up like $100 going into the weekend, but I had my 1 and 2 my actual bets from the MLB season that ended up costing me like $50, and then I did that teaser Packers hit, but the one that I did was the over points on the entire Sunday. And I missed by like 20 points. So all these
because of all these field goals, yeah.
I'm like, I remember these plays are all like red zone stops.
Yeah.
Trust me.
Yeah. But yeah, let's hop to 4:00. We're running out of steam here.
Yeah. Like Packers, that was just an easy cover on my end. That was an easy bet that I threw in last second. That just the Steelers aren't good.
No, they're not. I mean, yeah, Rodgers is just still doing his thing, and yeah. I think that's just another.
I think they said it right. The offense of the Steelers is handoff to Najee Harris, negative pass for Najee Harris, and then they just 3rd and 10 deep ball. Sometimes Deontay catch it. Sometimes it'll just punt.
Yeah, exactly. And again, just this whole week 1 thing screwing everyone up. But yeah, pretty much like the Bills. I mean, we can sum it up pretty easily. One team's just way better than the other one. How about the controversy in this that Baltimore-Denver game at the end of the game?
Yeah.
With like I don't know. I kind of hate both sides of the argument. We're gonna be honest. Like, I don't know.
It's like, why do you? It's a weird move by a coach to like care about this record, but it's also just like they were just running the football instead of taking a knee. Like,
I don't really care. I don't know. They're not like air. Yeah. You're not sending Hollywood Brown on a go route and trying to like get a 60-yard touchdown. Yeah, I don't know. I hated both sides of it, to be honest. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was going to happen. I mean, Baltimore was out, like Denver started at 3-0, but they played no one. It seemed like a 1-point favorite. I mean, yeah, it kind of played out the way I think we all thought it would. And obviously Teddy B going out with the concussion, the Drew Lock show, not quite as, didn't quite take off as much as
Teddy is a much more enjoyable product.
Yeah.
So the CBS games, and now into the 405.
Yeah, we'll rewind a little bit just to kind of save a little bit of the better stuff for the end here. The entire NFC West window here. So a game that I picked just because I'm like, even though San Fran's a better team, I'm like, I just can't see Seattle falling to 1-3. So that's why I kind of liked them in this one. And again, it was tough because this is again when the whole what's the word I'm looking for? The whole baseball almost like witching out that was happening. I kind of lost track of, some of these games here because they obviously all started at 3 on Sunday with the MLB. So again, this just seemed like one where Seattle kind of just was able to edge them out, and we're trying to even see the stats in this one.
I think it was
Jimmy went out. But anyway, good.
Remember that game last year where like the Dolphins with the San Fran and just blew them out of nowhere?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was another like weird game. Like Jimmy got hurt, and the premier warm-ups, Gold got hurt. So like the punter was like,
the punter was kicking, yeah.
Field goals, the fullback holding it. Like it was just one of those. Like I guess everyone in San Fran's hurt again. They really needed to win that Super Bowl that year when they're fully healthy, type of deal.
Yeah, but I mean, yeah. I mean, Wilson didn't really.
Oh, and then almost
what?
Like I was buying on them, so I think that's why I was on San Fran's side. But
yeah,
Seattle did just enough. Russ had a good It was like the start of the third quarter. I feel like Russ had like 2 quick touchdowns. I forgot him.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it seems like nothing real crazy happened in this game. Debo had himself a nice game, 8 receptions, 156 yards, 2 touchdowns. Like you said, mentioned a weird thing with the whole kicker situation. But yeah, Seattle able to edge one out. And then I think probably the biggest statement one of the day, I think, was Arizona going into LA and beating the Rams, because it was just a situation. I'm like, definitely the Rams are going to win this game. There seems like kind of a wagon all year. Arizona seems to kind of be on the cusp, but then maybe I'm judging them too harshly of falling apart last year. But you really got to hand it to them, really being able to show up in this game and come away with a victory, going to LA and being the only undefeated team left in the NFL.
Yeah, it was definitely the letdown game for the Rams, because that was like felt like a Super Bowl-esque type win for them in week 3. But I still think, they still have all the tools to be the best team. They just kind of got to let down. Maybe this was just like they had their letdown loss the last, I guess it was the first weekend in October, instead of having a letdown game like in the NFC wildcard round or something like that. So.
Yeah. But yeah, again, Kyler might be leader in the clubhouse for MVP. They just absolutely lit it up. 37-20, didn't even really mess around here. So huge win for the Cardinals. I just hope that they can maintain it the whole year. Yep.
And maybe Stafford should spread the ball out a little more.
Oh, you mean not just lock into Cooper Kupp? Maybe find Robert Woods every now and then. But yeah, again, great win for the Cardinals. And I think, honestly, I kind of made the case for Carolina a little bit. But there's a good chance this whole division makes the playoffs.
I know. It's
because I think it's just going to be Dallas. It's just going to be Green Bay. The only question mark is if Carolina can hang around. And if they can't, I think there's a good chance, to be honest, to see this whole division make the playoffs.
True. Yeah. And I think you're going to forget about this team is that the defense isn't that bad. And they now, they're not special. I think they both really stood out as RB2s. But the Chase Edmonds, James Conner backfield is doing pretty well.
Yeah, I agree. They kind of work well together.
Once you got the full bell cow, pun intended.
Yeah,
it looks pretty bad. The Oilers' offensive line isn't the best, but now he's kind of living in a good offense, and there's some good weapons. So.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, then that brought us to the main event of the night, one that we all had our eyes on here in New England, was Brady coming back. Obviously, the fanfare before the game, then once they trotted out on the field, the boos came down. I thought it was funny. I would never cheer for the opponent in the game, booing. I think it was kind of funny, but I don't know.
I think
would I boo them anyway? I don't know if I'd boo the Bucks if no one was. If it was still Jameis or
I think
Brad Johnson.
Because they went crazy when they were out on the field and stuff.
Yeah.
The same people that are going crazy are just hey, we love you, but
Exactly. But it's a game. I thought they were gonna get their asses kicked. I know no Gronk kind of changed things.
I got a friend of a friend that was going there, and I was talking to him. He's like, "Oh, Pats are gonna win by a mile. Bill's gonna get his revenge." I'm like, dude, everyone else are crazy. They're gonna get their butts whooped. And I thought it was good. And then once as the day went on, no, see, I can see this being a shootout. And then once the game happened and I saw it started to rain, I'm like, oh no, this is just gonna be an ugly game. And
us scoring 17 makes sense. I'm I could have seen that. I just thought they would have put up 40. But yeah, a lot of back and forth. It just seemed like they had chances to really pull away a little from Tampa, and then they let them hang around, and you do that enough, Brady's going to get at least in field goal range, and that's obviously what did them in.
He was very jittery at the end. He was okay, bad Brady is the field goal to take the lead instead of the touchdown to take the lead, which left the door open for us to at least attempt a 56-yard field goal.
Right, which we'll get to in a sec here. But the defense showed out. Judon was awesome in this game. He was all over the field. I think JC played a pretty good game as well on the outside.
I feel like Evans got the best of him at first, but he kind of settled into the matchup as the game went.
Right. Judon was all over the place. Got that shout out from Donovan Mitchell on Twitter. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really impressed with what I saw from the defense, because I'm really hoping that can help moving forward, because obviously sitting at 1-3 now. Mac had probably not even probably Mac had his best game of the season. The 19 straight completions, finding people all over the place. Obviously had some late mistakes that didn't really cost him, but could have, and really just, I think, really made us kick that field goal instead of really going for it. But he utilized both tight ends. That's where both touchdowns went. So yeah, I'm much more encouraged from what I saw from Mac this past Sunday than the first 3 weeks.
Yeah, especially he just needs some effort blocking, man.
Oh my God, the line is awful, and even the back. I mean, that's not Harris's bag, I guess, baby, but that's where I think we are missing Sony Michel a little bit. Maybe if it's not even the carries, it's pass blocking, but yeah, I don't know. That's gonna have to improve one way or another.
Just the loss of James Young is really big. It's like Bolden knows what he's doing.
Oh, we're getting a 2014 draft shout out there from Mike accidentally.
The loss of James White.
You said James Young.
Oh, because I saw there was a Chase Young commercial on this.
Oh, okay. I was like, Kentucky, great. Yeah, but yeah, no, you're right. That hurts them as well. Just, I mean,
because even like when Bolden was doing okay, I feel like he was running a center blocks.
Yeah, and Wynn just has nothing. I don't know what's going on with Wynn, and Brown being out sucks too. Because then you got Haran and Durant splitting time with the right tackle. So yeah, Mac has no time. He did a pretty good job getting rid of the ball, even with that happening. But yeah, he needs more time.
So it's like, again, just I know the Patriots were the 6-time champions their entire life. I think now, you gotta getting the fact okay, he's a rookie quarterback, but you just gotta look for the good things. And the fact that, imagine opposing Tom Brady coming back to Boston after 6 wins here, coming off 1 in Tampa. So having the poise to go toe to toe with him, that's something to be happy about and be okay. We didn't get our asses kicked. I know we've had, I feel like, nothing but moral victories since Brady's left, and I know there's only so much time for that. I think that the other could be the last moral victory.
I'd be fine with 2-2, honestly. I know there's potential for 3-1 out there. I would just you got to win one of those. You got to. Miami is really it. I mean, New Orleans outplayed you. I mean, it sucked, but they did.
You needed to. I mean, and the thing is, it is Miami. You could have sat in that ball and kicked a 20-yard field goal.
Oh, I know. Stupid fumble. But yeah, I think that pretty much does it for that one. I mean, again, we could go on a Brady forever. We almost probably should have bumped this up so we had more energy to talk about it. But I mean, yeah, I just went toe to toe. I mean, that field goal, I still don't like the decision. I mean, I know Matt got his pass batted the day down before, but I'd rather just go for it, man. You know what I mean? This, because even I would think of the same thing too. Say Folk nails that, Brady's coming down the field and probably getting sucked up in decent range, and they're probably going to win. Yeah, exactly. And there was 45 seconds, something like that left in the clock. So yeah, I think they should have gone for it. I'm perfectly happy losing if you try to find someone on a slant route.
I think I would have too, because you can say oh, monsoon in the rain, like I said, it had the distance. So I think I'm more mad. I'm what Brady does. Anyone should know what Brady does.
It didn't have the. Did it have that? Oh, I guess it at the side. Yeah, I guess you're right. But anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
It's more of okay, it's it's not the perfect kick, but if it's that, let's say with 20 seconds left, it's do you try the rain or do you try to get a first down, call timeout, and kick it after that? At that point, I probably would be okay kicking it, but the fact that there was 50 seconds left. Yeah. Because you know what I mean? It's the same time.
I don't know. It's so far. And just all the factors added up. It didn't make sense to me. I'm you know what? Yeah, sure. You just got to pass batted, but I'm he's completed most of his passes tonight. You need 3 yards. I trust Mac to do that.
Straight at one point.
I said that earlier. It's fine. I'm just saying. I have to point it out. But yeah, I don't know. I didn't like the decision. So yeah, you fall 1-3, and this schedule, it's not. I mean, you get Houston this week. Hopefully, you can beat up on them. But what's that?
You got it on that one.
Yeah, I mean, I think I was slightly listening to Perlow today. He's if I had Tyrod Taylor, I'd be a little worried, but
yeah,
you have to think they'll beat Mills. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, it was definitely an emotional night. Brady's post-game press conference is awesome. Obviously, he did meet with Belichick at some point. We saw Edelman watching it with the TV on the ground, which was kind of funny. But I gotta think, even if you just move somewhere, you don't have a table, you can always put it on. I have it down on the ground. Like even if it's just like a beer pong table, like you can't even put it on there. So that was kind of funny.
Because like even like it's like okay, like I'm not gonna like keep this on this table forever, but like okay, it's Sunday night, I want to watch this game. Like I
don't want to stare at the ground. Yeah.
It seemed like he was like.
But yeah. So I mean, yeah, it was a fun game that the Pats obviously hung around a lot more than I thought they would. Ended up coming down right to the end. So can't ask for too much else besides getting a W there. But yeah, Tampa obviously improves now to 3-1. Pats at 1-3. Hopefully we can turn things around from here. And then the last game, again, another one I didn't really catch. Monday Night Football. I feel like it's just like I unwind from the weekend. You make the girl watch football all day Sunday. It's It sucks because I feel like I missed a lot of these Manning broadcasts. This actually was a good game on paper. I almost prefer.
I think there wasn't one tonight. So
what's that?
There wasn't one on Monday. The Mannings.
Manning. No, I know. Yeah, there wasn't a Manning broadcast Monday. But still, I mean, this was like the best game on paper. Maybe going into the game here. 2 NFC West teams and the weird lightning delay that even though it's like almost like they got like a palapa going on over this stadium, not even like a full-on roof.
But yeah, I was able to catch the second half, but it was already 21-0. Oakland went on a nice run. Darren Waller had a beast of the catch, but it was a big sack because LA. Las
Vegas.
Yes.
We're almost there.
Had all the momentum in the second half for what I was watching. Like they were driving and they already had 2 touchdowns in hand, but it was like a big sack on like 3rd and 4 from like the 30, pushed the goal back to 50 plus, and then Carlson missed it. And after that, it was touchdown Chargers and game over.
I have to say, I personally am a huge fan of everything that transpired in this game because I went into one of my matchups, 3-0, had a 20% chance of winning because I was down by like 1 million. I had Herbert and Eckler against Carlson, and I won by like a point. It was glorious. They did just enough. They carried me, so I'm 4-0. I was convinced I was dropping to 3-1. So Van B boys got a nice win.
Yeah, for me it was like I was 0-2.
That's the best part of Monday night.
I was 0-2 in the other 2 leagues, and then in the 3rd and 4th, it was like, okay, I need this league and a half PPR Keenan Allen to not have 14 points, and then in the family league, I'm like, I need Keenan Allen to outscore Eckler and Carlson. So I'm like, I feel like I need a fine line to get both. I was like, I'd rather do 2 in family than make it up than fall to 0-4 in this one. So
yeah,
last 2 weeks have been tough.
But yeah, that
3-1, 2-2, 2-1-3.
But
yeah,
luckily only 1-3 on one of mine. But yeah, I think that does it. Again, quite the gauntlet between. Again, we had almost a full MLB playoff preview on top of the insanity that happened in the wild card game and last Sunday. So that kind of took a good chunk of time. Probably one of the longer episodes we'll ever have.
October.
Yeah, I mean, luckily we kind of go like maybe a few games at a time with baseball. This is really why we need to get on twice a week. I understand sometimes it can't happen, but October, I think specifically, the playoffs have started. We'll have to make it work somehow. But yeah, we got to talk a lot about that. Some college, got through that NFL slate. One thing I did want to point out, I think you might have just called it out there a second ago. I'm loving the energy, kind of like the best friend energy that we have of Juan Soto wearing Trey Turner's old Nationals jersey in the crowd here in LA. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's in like 3rd row.
Yeah, so I saw that earlier on. I'm like, that's first I thought it was his own jersey. I'm like, is he just wearing his own jersey to this game? Well, and then I saw him turn around and I'm like, oh, okay.
The guy next to him wearing Scherzer's. And I was like, why is he? And I didn't see like the 3 from 31. I'm like, why is he not wearing Scherzer's jersey? Like, who is he? Oh, like, I was like, it took me a second.
Oh yeah, who was it? Who is it? Just some random?
I think it's like coach or something.
Oh, okay. But yeah, we got a good one here. Bottom of the 8th, still 1-1. So that's the only thing too. Is like we'll probably still be up watching this game after. I just feel like mentally, I'm just like,
I'm getting to really go to the gym for once, but I'm like, okay, like, well, I would have watched this game regardless. So
yeah, but yeah, great time of year. October is upon us. Yeah. We got a wild card just starting here. We'll have some divisions starting tomorrow, and a ton of football happening. we'll eventually have the NBA and NHL starting this week or at the end of this month. I gotta say, I'm still rattled by seeing NHL on TNT. My brain's not gonna catch up to that for a while. But
and even on ESPN too. It's like,
yeah, that I'm like, I guess like I'm like because there's been college on there, or like I remember the old like NHL music.
The last 3 years.
What's that?
Like ESPN Plus, I know it's just broadcasting.
Yeah, but then like I'm like TNT, I'm like that you got nothing for me. But yeah, exciting time of year. So I think that'll do it for this one.
Yeah, we'll be on Saturday, but there's also a freaking fight on Saturday.
Yes, we'll talk about it more then. Wilder Fury, very excited about that one. Gonna host a little shindig at my place to have a little viewing party. But yeah, we'll maybe talk about that a little bit more on Saturday. But yeah, another exciting thing that's happening this weekend. So yeah, I think that does it. A long one here. Thanks everyone who made it this far, and we'll see you for a quick show on Saturday at some point.
Oh, I got it. One last thing.
Well, Mike does not want everyone to go to bed. So
more of, I just gotta get a nice 30-second thing off the chest. I'm very happy to see the Padres fire Tingler.
I almost was gonna call for that. I almost texted you that. I'm like, I feel like they got to make a move now. I almost forgot it was him. My brain's still thinking Bud Black. I'm like,
for me, because he was the guy that didn't support Tatis and that whole bat flip.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that.
It was like one of those things. Like I saw, like even like Hooley be like, you got to fire this guy immediately. But then they were awesome last year. I'm like, do I have to like this Tingler guy because the team likes him? But even though I want to hate him for that scenario, so that's why this year's like blessing this guy is like the Giants. This is Peter Cinderella year. Padres, you suck. Fire your manager, go to the next step. Which is kind of why I want like the White Sox to flounder this playoffs so they can final order.
Yeah, he'll get too old anyway. I did see. Speaking of White Sox, is there any truth to the Ozzie Guillen Mets rumor? Because I want there to be.
I don't know, but I hope so.
Him and like get some nice Latin vibe in there. Get him and like Frankie Lindor cooking. I think that'd be awesome.
Oh, I don't. Yeah.
But. We'll see how the managerial carousel goes on. But no, thank you for that last point. Actually, Mike, it was a good one because I did think I'm like I don't even care who it is. I forgot about the whole Tatis situation. I was like for the Padres, this is a huge letdown. I think you got to make a move. So they did, and we'll see who obviously fills in that role. But hopefully, yeah, maybe someone a little bit. Not that Tingler was old, but maybe someone like a little bit more relatable with the players. Maybe a well-known former player or something like that. So we'll see.
I mean, this would be a tough blow to the staff, but. Will Venable for a Padre great.
Will Venable, yeah, that's true. He did. I mean, he almost got this job.
Yeah.
Sam Fold, Chris Woodward, yeah, another one. But yeah, no, good last point there. But yeah, I think that officially does it.
Yeah.
As we are going to go offline and watch the rest of this Cardinals-Dodgers game. But yeah, thanks everyone again who made it this far, and we'll see you on Saturday.
See you guys later.